All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi's Stadium for the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show for a Friday here in Ninerland. Check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out, and they do run out. So get there early, get to Pig and a Pickle early. They're in Emeryville, they're in Corte Madera. Go say hi to Damon, go say hi to Mary, get some brisket. Get some brisket chili, tell them that Krug sent you. And this video is also brought to you by our good friends at Mancini's. Mancini's Sleep World is now a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. Mancini's offers a 120-night guarantee with a range of brands and price points. With Mancini's, you get free next-day delivery. Click the link below and go to sleepworld.com. Find a bed that works for you. Man, I'm loving my Mancini's bed. Whether shopping online or visiting in store, use the code KRUG10, K-R-U-E-G 10, and you'll get 10% off. That's it. Krug 10. Once again, type in Krug 10 at the checkout, in store or online at sleepworld.com, K-R-U-E-G 10, and you'll get 10% off in store or online at sleepworld.com. All right, the Niners getting ready to take on the Arizona Cardinals on what promises to be maybe the hottest game in the history of Levi's Stadium. They're saying the temperature at kickoff can be anywhere between 95 to 98 degrees. So it's going to be a smoke show. It is going to be hot, really hot. And the 49ers have practiced in the heat all week. So it's funny talking to some of the players, some of the guys, like I was talking to Tatum Bethune today, and he's played at Florida State. And he's like, hey, this ain't hot. And it's like, dude, this guy trained in July in Tallahassee, Florida. He's not thinking that, our 95-degree West Coast, no humidity weather is all that tough. But, we'll see. We'll see come Sunday who's ready to roll. As far as the injuries for Sunday, let's go through them right now because there's a bunch of them. Fred Warner is questionable. So he's got an ankle injury. If he can't go, Tatum Bethune may start at middle linebacker and wear the green dot. And it's funny, Shanahan was talking about Bethune today, and he said, he's been good. He runs the huddle well. I had a chance to do an interview with him today, and I love the kid. The kid's just great. Smart, he's enthusiastic, he's learning a lot from Fred, he's learning a lot from Dre. You can tell he's really smart. Great kid. And this guy showed up at the football all summer long. I mean, there was a point where all of a sudden he just started dominating. And I'm really eager to see what Bethune looks like on the practice field. So hopefully we'll see Fred Warner, but if we don't see Fred Warner, Tatum Bethune may start at middle backer. So Warner is questionable. George Kittle's got a rib injury. He's also questionable. Eric Saubert would start if Kittle couldn't go. Now, Warner and Kittle both practiced today. Okay, they both practiced today, but they're both listed as questionable for this weekend. Neither of them practiced on Thursday, but they both practiced today. Also, Kalia Davis is listed as questionable. He's coming back from a knee injury. I'm really eager to see Kalia. He looked awesome in the preseason. I mean, awesome. Like the kind of guy that could come in and maybe make a huge impact on this defense. So that was really exciting to see. D. Winters practiced today. He's got an ankle. He's questionable. Jacob Cowing practiced today. He's questionable. Yatir Gross-Matos is out. He will not be playing this weekend. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles is out. Isaac Yadam with a thigh injury is questionable. Chris Conley with the oblique is doubtful. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles is out. So a lot of injuries there. The Niners play Sunday, and then they turn around and play again on Thursday. So it'll be really interesting to see how Shanahan and Lynch and how the Niners decide to kind of allocate their players to this game when they play again against a tougher Seattle team, I think, on Thursday night, which is a quick turnaround. So, will they sit Warner? Will they sit Kittle and try to win this game without two of their very, very best players, two of the very best players in all of the NFL? That will be something to watch for come Sunday. Sam Aquinu has been a fantastic find for the 49ers, and he leads the NFL in run-stop percentage. My son tweeted this out today. I don't know where Kev found the stat, but 28.6%. He leads the NFL in run-stop percentage at 28.6%. So Sam Aquinu, been very, very good. He's got 4 run stops and 14 run defense snaps, according to PFF. So Sam Aquino is playing his butt off. I mean, he looks fantastic. John Lynch suggested, as I said earlier, that Tatum Bethune may step in for Fred Warner if Fred Warner can't go. Nick Bosa did an interesting interview today or might have been yesterday, with my good friend Will Gavin from TalkSport in the UK. And in that interview, Bosa said that Fred Warner is the best defensive player he's ever played with, which is really interesting because I think he's played with. Did he play with Sherm? I don't know if he played with Sherm, but he definitely played with DeForest Buckner. We know he played with Dee Ford. He played with Dre Greenlaw. He played with Eric Armstead. So, at least in the mind of Nick Bosa, Fred Warner is the best defensive player he's ever played with. And he's played with some good ones, so I thought that was kind of interesting. PFF did their all-pro offensive team through 1 month, and Jawan Jennings made all-pro, PFF's all-pro team on the offensive side. And today, PFF came out with their all-pro defense, and it's Aiden Hutchinson, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Dexter Lawrence, Quincy Williams, Christian Benford, DJ Reed, the ex-Niner, who's in with the Jets. He might be a good acquisition for the Niners at the trade deadline, by the way, if they need a corner, if the Jets are out of it. Xavier McKinney, who left the Giants in free agency and signed with Green Bay this offseason. Deshaun Elliott, the former Notre Dame safety, who's at Pittsburgh, and Marlon Humphrey, and Fred Warner. So Fred Warner was named to the Pro Football Focus quarter pole all-pro defensive team. Good for Fred, and how could you ignore him? Fred's been really, really good all year. So that does it for our update. Not a lot to talk about today. John Lynch stopped by this morning on KMBR. He said a number of interesting things, I thought. He talked a little bit about his Padres, talked a little bit about how he's going to, Buster Posey has reached out to him. I thought one of the interesting things that John said this morning is that he was asked, like Murph was asking him, well, what if Buster asked you about how to create a culture? How do you create a culture? And this is why I love Lynch, because he sees things, he values people. And I like people who value people. And John Lynch values people. And he says that if you want to change your culture, you've got to bring in, quality people. And you've got to surround yourself with high quality people. And that is going to be the secret for the Giants going forward is, can they find high quality people? But I thought that was interesting because that is how John Lynch changed the culture to some degree here in San Francisco since he's been the GM. They've changed the culture by the people that they bring into the building and the people that they intentionally don't bring into the building. Football's a rough game, and it's played by some rough guys. And you can't just have a 53-man roster of nothing but choir boys. You got to have guys who are violent and physical and like to hit and like the physical nature of the game. But you don't want to bring in a criminal element. You don't want to bring in a character flawed element. And so it's really about, you want to establish a great culture, you got to go after the Brock Purdy's of the world. Guys who work hard. Football's important to them. They don't just love football on Sunday, they love the process of football. The process of football is the rest of the week. Do you like the lifting? Do you like the film work? Do you like the cut-ups? Do you like all the things that go into making yourself a great football player? So I thought that was a really interesting part of his interview this morning with Murph and Marcus. And then, of course, the guys asked him about Devontae Adams, and he said, hey, would never say no to, we're never going to discount anything. We're always trying to improve our football team, but we like our receivers, we like our roster, and, basically he said, hey, we're not going in that direction. He wouldn't rule it out, but let's be honest, if the Niners are going to get a new player at the trade deadline, it's probably going to be a defensive end or a defensive tackle or maybe a running back. I don't think he'll be a wide receiver. I'd be very, very surprised. Why? Because you have Jacob Cowing. He's got a lot of talent. He's yet to break through. You've got Pearsall, who's working his way back. You've got Terrace Marshall on the practice squad. He's probably better than anybody you're going to be able to pick up off the street or in a trade at this point in the campaign. So, I mean, you have some options at receiver. You don't have those options at defensive tackle. You don't have those options at running back for the most part. Guarendo's really raw. Taylor has yet to be trusted with even a single carry. And that was the other thing. I talked to Keyshawn Vaughn today in the locker room, and I'll say this. I really believe right now the Niner depth chart has, obviously, CMC's at the top, but he's hurt. So Mason's now at the top, and Guarendo's the 2, and Taylor's the 3. But as I was talking to Keyshawn, I really don't think that's the actual depth chart. I think the depth chart is Mason's the 1, and if Mason gets hurt, it's going to be Keyshawn Vaughn. Guarendo's super raw, and obviously if they trusted Taylor as more than a special teamer, he probably would have gotten a carry or 2 at this point. So, I was just saying to Keyshawn, I'm like, keep your head up, man, because you're going to, if Mason gets hurt and he's going to miss a game or 2, they're bringing Keyshawn Vaughn off that practice squad because Vaughn's the one guy that has experience. Vaughn knows how to run. Vaughn knows how to he knows how to pick and slide. He's a true running back with experience and talent. I think people are underestimating how good Keyshawn Vaughn is, and I'm not hoping that Mason gets hurt. That's for sure, because Mason's a beast. But if he does, I don't think it's going to be the Isaac Guarendo show. I don't think it's going to be the Patrick Taylor show. I think it's going to be Keyshawn Vaughn time at that point if Mason goes down. All right, that's going to do it for the video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Mancini's Sleep World for sponsoring this video. Once again, click the link below. Go to sleepworld.com. Find a bed that works for you, whether shopping online or visiting in store. Use that code KRUG10, KRUG10, and you'll get 10% off. That's KRUG10 to get 10% off in store or online at sleepworld.com. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.